But
whatever you want, Brian.
Yeah, but we're live because that's what's cool. I'm Ryeface, and this is Brian.
I'm Bryface.
Yeah, this is Bryface.
This is Karl.
The bear Jew.
Yeah, I don't know how to.
Unfortunately, he doesn't have a Y in his name, so we can't.
But I have a face. So.
He does have a face, and his name is Karl.
So those of you watching on YouTube, you get to look at his handsome face.
Yeah, we're gonna put this on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
And on iTunes.
We have with us. With this.
Yeah, we have with us Karl Fredricks, AKA.
What's your nickname?
The Big Effing Deal.
Oh my God, it's such an amazing.
And why are you called the Big Effing Deal?
Because I got tired of saying freaking. Wasn't as cool enough. Wasn't edgy.
I mean, just saying, ladies.
BFD looks really cool on merch.
That is true.
And you can kind of make. There's a lot of bad jokes you can make with that, depending on how inappropriate you are. A lot of people.
Big F&D.
I love the BFD.
I got merch.
That's
the merch says. Yeah, it says big F-in and the
and
D's
Brian
really
already
big,
did.
and the EAL.
As for some of you
small.
who are listening and those of
This
you
is
who are watching.
this is terrible so far.
No, I love it. I love every bit of this. All of our sex jokes, always.
So the reason we have Karl on today is because, well, Brian Sips, he's a wrestler, not the Olympic style,
No,
the professional style.
Professional wrestling, indie wrestler, current at the moment, but yeah, I like the WWE stuff. For those of you who don't,
yeah.
Or they'll say the fake stuff.
And I assure you, going to the shows and being more up close and personal than what you can be to those bigger shows, it's not fake. People get the misconception that it's like, oh, they're acting. Well, they could be, but they're not. Just when you act,
They're really. You guys are really doing.
It's
acting, but it's like
what it is we are one take actors doing our own stunts and creating fight scenes and telling stories with our bodies. So you're seeing a live play, and we get one shot to do it.
One chance.
You know,
See, that's the best explanation I've ever heard of it.
So another really good one I heard, because a lot of people. My favorite thing is like, you know, people. I have a lot of friends. They know I do it. You know, so they'll say like, "How'd it go this weekend?" They know I'm on the road, and I like to say like I performed well. You know, I don't. You know, I won. You know, that way, because they know how the business works. You know, that's been exposed for a long time, years now. And so they'll ask they know how it works. And then they'll ask us, you know, I'll say I performed well. They ask, "Did you win?" I say, "Oh no, you know, I lost," or whatever the case was. But you know, we told our story. The match went really well. But if I say I lost, I'm like, "Oh, come on, man!" Like, I'm like, "Oh, well, I'm sorry." You know?
So are the matches pre? Like,
yeah. So every time
the plot line's set, right?
There's a booker at every promotion, you know. So he writes the story. He's telling, you know, he's there in control.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's how that
so
works.
Is there like
so you work for who, you know, it's you're being cast in this play as this,
right,
you know, and you go out and you do your job to the best, you know.
So do you guys have like this ongoing story from like match to match?
Some places we do. Actually, I've spent the majority of this year feuding with Steicher. You tried.
I went to the last match where you
you saw the culmination of it. So that was really cool. So you saw the end of that, ended in a stipulation 2 out of 3 falls match. But that's something that started, I want to say, like January.
Really? So it was just like ongoing with that one.
And I've legitimately been married to this kid in wrestling everywhere.
Sure.
Like I've wrestled Steicher a majority. Like I've grown so much with him, which is really cool. But like we wrestle here, and then we're both students still. So our trainers get us booked on a show in California, and so they, you know, I got 2 students. They're good. You know, check them out. So just have them work each other. So we work each other there, and the promoter likes it. You know, hey, that's really good, man. I want you guys to do this match, you know, again next time. So then I'm working him there. Promoters at that show, I want you guys to come work for me, and we're like, oh, good. You know, we're getting work here. I want to do a storyline with you and Steicher. We're like, oh, of course, you know, but not that it's a bad thing.
No, that's
cool.
But
but here we have one. Steicher was undefeated until I had come in. I was the first person to beat him.
That was the one I went to, right?
And so I beat him very early in the year.
Oh, okay.
And he is claiming an undefeated streak, and every time, so we do monthly shows, and like 1 month it would be 97-0, and the next month it'd be like 104-0, and like so yeah, it was ridiculous. And then he blatantly disregarded the fact that I had beaten him, and then I broke my hand and I had to forfeit. It was when we had we brought a belt in, had a championship tournament. I broke my hand, I couldn't compete in that, and so I had to forfeit a match against Steiker, and he ended up winning the belt, and then I was chasing the title, chasing him, and he wouldn't wrestle me. And then when he finally did, which is the one you saw, he had actually lost the belt the month before. But we still got to settle that, so that was good. It was fun.
Did you break your hand?
I broke my hand in Los Angeles doing a frog splash to Steiker.
Touche.
Yeah, and I broke it doing a move to him.
So injuries are like real.
Oh yeah,
inevitable. Almost.
I got my bell rung like legit for the first time this 2 weekends. I didn't work last week. 2 weekends ago, I had been picked up and dropped on my face by a very large individual. He's the war pig, Jody Christopherson. I wish you could see a picture of the guy.
I'll pull it up and put it on YouTube.
Pull it up. And yeah, Jody's legit. Picked me up like I'm nothing, and I just my forehead, was right in the mat. And it was like you ever played Fight Night?
Oh yeah.
And things go gray, you get the one shot and everything's slow motion. And like I remember getting up and I was like, I see his forearm coming at my face really slow, and I'm taking these shots. And like after a couple, it was like the color came back, and I thought I was scared at first. I was like, I might be hurt. And then I could think, and I gathered myself, and the color came back, and we were moving fast again. But done that. I bruised my ribs really bad early on, just in training. That's probably I think the thing that people don't understand, not in a bad way, they just don't know, or blind to, is like training is probably the hardest part. Working is like you go out, anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes more, whatever. You do your match, but by then hopefully you're good enough to do everything safe, whatever. But training is just, I remember my first day, you walk in, you learn how to bump, and it's you bump, take a back bump, flip bump, and that's all you're doing is just throwing yourself, and then it's okay. Then you're learning to take moves, and you're just taking dozens and dozens of body slams and giving them and everything like that. But training is like, it's especially in the beginning, and especially if you don't get things the first time, because the longer it takes for you to get them, then you're landing wrong, and it hurts more and things like that. But I think it's the first broken bone I've ever had too. First surgery, I had a little plate and some screws in there. But I think and Steiker likes to make me internally bleed. It's happened 3 times in Santa Cruz, wrestling Steiker in Santa Cruz. One time I filled a cup, a little water, like about this big, of just nice red. But yeah, it was like it was my own saliva. I don't know what it was, but it's happened it's like really bad luck with him. Like,
wow. From where?
I remember from his match. Each match, okay, I had taken a bump at some point, and just like, ooh, that one hurt a lot, nothing crazy. And then after the rest of the night, I'm just pulling up blood. Like
for those of you not watching on YouTube, he's showing us his can of Zevia,
which tastes much, much better than my own blood, by the way.
Yes. We're not sponsored by them, but we love them probably more than they love us. But
soon it's good.
But Chrissy loves them. Chrissy swears by them. What's the federation you wrestle in right now?
So every time you work, essentially you're working for a different company. So here I train out of the Reno Wrestle Factory, and we are like a subdivision of All Pro Wrestling, which is the biggest promotion in Northern California. And so we're all APW Nevada. Like next weekend I have a wrestling for APW in Daly City on Friday, and then for PCW, Pro Championship Wrestling, in Oroville, California, and then in Las Vegas on Sunday for Future Stars of Wrestling, FSW. So every time, if I do a 3-shot weekend, it's for a different company, different promoter. So I may be a bad guy on Friday and a good guy on Saturday,
And you were saying most of those, like each different place, they're kind of self-contained, almost like self-contained plot lines.
Yeah, so every
it's not like Game of Thrones where you got to be like paying attention all the time.
And sometimes they're kind of like alternate universes is the deal, Because I'm still
you're the
same
guy.
I'm still the big effing deal everywhere I go.
Yeah.
for the longest time, I was the big freaking deal, you know. And most play like, I'm a heel, I'm a bad guy, you know, in one place right now. And so the big effing deal, that's cockier, you know. It's edgier.
Definitely.
But you know, on there, so I'm that, and the next day, you know, I'm all smiles again, and I'm just a different version of myself everywhere you go. So
cool.
they're all, yeah. So some places, and Northern California is cool. There's a handful of fans I'll see at every show, and
cool.
and the fans are cool now, especially like wrestling fans are so, you know, smart to everything. So it was strange to me. My first time working heel, you know, I'm used to getting cheered, and I'm getting booed. I'm trying to talk on the mic after this match. I turned to my tag partner. We lost our match, and so they were happy we lost. And then I turned to my partner. I'm trying to talk, and they're booing me, and like it started to actually get to me. So it brought out good emotion in me, and then it was just so strange, you know. There's intermission at the show and everything, and I'm walking around. And I was kind of salty, towards that, and then I go out, and every single one of them was, hey man, really good match. That was awesome. That dive you did was crazy, you know. And they were like, it's so as far as the show goes, you know, they enjoy the show for what it is when it's and then they appreciate everybody, like you know, outside of
That's cool, like
wrestling fans like.
Oh, they're the best.
Dude,
The
they're
wrestling
show,
fans
man.
are they're the best.
The people who love it, like,
No,
they are more diehard than anybody.
They're the best. But yeah, there's a handful of guys. You'll see it every single place you go. You know,
That's
It's
cool.
pretty cool.
So you have, going into it, you know, okay, I'm gonna win this match or I'm gonna lose this match. Do you guys plan out what you're gonna do, or you just gotta vibe off each other?
It's a lot of it. So even in terms of like, say
Like, I want to do this.
I was a
this.
bag. So when I told you I was a bag, you know, we
Right.
lost our match, and then I turned to my partner. Well,
Right.
I was booked as a good guy going into the match, and then we were gonna lose, and it was that type of deal. And then I was gonna turn into the bad guy, but we came out. I mean, and like we're both like, I'm not a bad looking guy, you know. Like I'm a pretty easy baby face. And
We get it. You're good looking.
my
Way to rub
I mean,
it
you
in.
and you know, right, you remember Ryan McQueen, you know.
Yeah.
So me and him were teamed together, and was like, oh, this is a pretty good, easily likable team. And then we were facing a tag team called the Rejects. So it's like pretty painted in black and white, like who's supposed to be your good guys and your bad guys. And we came out first, and they were booing us already. So
Nice.
it's kind of, so then the best part about situations like that is like the fans really change the script. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So they're and you learn to roll with the punches. So
That's
you know,
pretty cool.
if we have, you know, we think we want our fight scene to go this way, or we think, you know, we have this stuff planned, and the fans come alive during another spot, you know, another part of the match, something else, and you roll with what they're, you know, they like this, so let's keep doing this. You kind of everything is really dictates, or they dictate
Right.
like what happens, you know. So you do stuff hoping to get that reaction out of them, but sometimes they react to other stuff, and you got to go with that, because then, or else you'll lose them, you know, that type
Right.
of deal. But it's you've been to a rock concert, and you know you're playing a certain song, and that guitar player will extend that solo 6 minutes sometimes. Like I remember like Coheed and Cambria.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like they'll do stuff like
Yeah.
that. You're like,
Yeah.
it's like, I'm like, is this 10 minutes now? He's been, you know, but everyone's loving it, you know,
Right.
like it's not the point. And it's like things like that. Is a lot of it's on the fly, and the crowd really dictates a lot more than I think some of them may know.
Are the moves scripted out? Like what you're gonna do?
So like,
to
it's
each other?
not, so we don't, I mean, there's no like,
Yeah, we're
I'm
like
gonna
we need to
punch
do
you
this
twice,
Like
and then,
playbook,
you know, but
Yeah. But you
I have my
have like
moves.
a vague idea.
Yeah. So I have my moves.
And you communicate that to each other, or you just kind of vibe off of it.
I mean, there's talk. It's a lot of vibe, and then a lot of someone's beat me up. I see you just kind of you wear the shots he gives you, and
Yeah.
roll with it that way. You know, it's more so like what what story you're telling, kind of in the match deal. But it's a lot of it is have it make sense.
Sure.
So it's a fight scene, right? Essentially, and it's a one take stunt. So you watch. So this quote, I'll throw this quote along with it. So it's not about making like the point isn't to make everybody believe it's real. The point is to make them forget that it's fake. That type of deal. So if it's good, when I had a tryout, or I'd spent time at WWE TV doing extra work, and a guy, his name's William Regal. He's incredible. He's a veteran wrestler, everything, and just brilliant. And he's talking to us about it, and he's, as far as movies and fight scenes and stuff goes, it's that thing. It's like suspended belief.
Sure.
You watch the Batman movies. This is what he, excuse he used. If you sit back and you think of everything, like this is pretty ridiculous, and you could do that in any movie. But if it's done well, you don't care. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Like if it's done well, it's incredible. But then you watch an action movie that's just completely overdone, and there's some where that's done on purpose, like a hardcore Henry type movie, stuff like that. And you're like, man, this is crazy. It's ridiculous, but that's the point. That's the point. And there's other ones.
Sharknado.
Yeah, where it's on purpose, or it's a movie trying to be super serious, but like it's just being done poorly. So then you think you're like, oh, that's unrealistic. But when Batman has a grappling hook, and he's like rappelling down, so you don't care. Like it doesn't matter. So like when it comes down, like it's just have it make sense. So I do certain, I do a lot of moves where I'll pick guys up, put them on my shoulders and stuff. But if you watch me and I'm getting beat up for 10 minutes straight, like, can I pick? How tired would I be? Like that type of stuff. It's making the fight scene make sense. So everybody, like there's moves that other guys do that I do, and if they do it, they happen to do it better than me. Like I won't do that move that night, type of thing. Right. Everybody's got their own move set and their own style. And that's another thing, knowing your opponent. I know this guy does this stuff, so to watch out for and things like that.
Do you have signature moves?
I have. The big splash was like my first one, like Stinger Splash. I call it the big effing splash.
What's that? I mean,
it's
if you can...
so the opponent.
Just do it. I'll lay on this table right now.
Yeah.
That's
what we promised.
I've got that frog splash. Yeah. Opponent standing up, one corner of the ring, and I like to pump the crowd up. Whatever. It's usually like a big build up moment, and I shoot. I do a big bow and arrow gesture at him. Shoot that. Good chance to be super dramatic and flex, whatever.
Hell yeah.
And I sprint across the ring as fast as I can. I try to take off like mid ring. I fly and splash into him. It's a big belly flop into him. I was a big Sting fan growing up, and he did the Stinger Splash.
Yeah.
And I have that. I use. It's called the Go to Sleep. It's a knee to the face. It was made popular by CM Punk.
Yeah.
I do that. I think I told you I was into the rock bottom.
Yeah, you did.
I did a rock bottom for Brian at a show.
Awesome.
I've done it twice.
Love it.
Yeah, and I took the Stone Cold Stunner was.
Dude,
yes.
Your reaction post that.
The way
you
what was that?
You rolled
the way it was
out of
sold,
it.
yeah.
The way you sold it. That's a perfect way of saying it. Was fantastic. Because I remember us watching the video.
The video. It was like every Stone Cold Stunner the Rock ever. Like I was like,
just over the top.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
And that's what makes it.
Awesome.
I did one in LA the next night, the night after that.
Yeah.
And the guy I was wrestling, he did the stunner, and he had like these managers, and they interrupted our match, and he makes him like give him water and stuff.
Yeah.
Like he's got water boys essentially, and like I stole the water bottle from him, like kicking at him, like getting him like out of the way, and I take a big drink of water, turn around, he hits me with the stunner, and it spit. I spit all the water.
Nice.
Like it just
awesome.
the visual,
Sure.
and anything that get a laugh or any extra little things like that.
Of course, you gotta keep them engaged.
Yeah.
That's part of the show.
How did you get into wrestling?
Yeah.
I decided in 2011 that I was going to post college become a professional wrestler. I had fallen back in love with it. I had watched it like religiously, probably from the age of 6 till I was about a junior in high school. And then at that point, like I was a 3-sport athlete. I really wanted to play college football, and I ended up playing a semester at a small school in Kansas. And at that point, that was like the most. That was I legitimately only watched Robin Big and the NFL Network. I would watch, and I would watch I would do
Sound like every other college football player.
And for the and so mind you, I guess I'm dating myself, but this is 2008, so Robin Big was still on the air,
Right.
But I would watch the replays of like Total Access, like that's all I watched, and so I'd kind of stopped watching wrestling, but I would still drive to Reno when WWE would be in town and watch the shows, and I would still order WrestleMania. And, so I was still a fan and everything. So I stopped playing football. I transferred over to UNR, and I was in school. And I had started to kind of get the itch again. I wanted to play football, looking to maybe transfer again somewhere. And ended up staying. But I had caught an episode of Raw. I think The Rock had just come back. They were starting to build up the Rock versus Cena at WrestleMania for the first time. And I did that, and then I'd watch... on Netflix, they had put WWE documentaries on, the original documentaries. I watched CM Punk's and Shawn Michaels, and I just fell in love again. And it had clicked in my head. I always knew they were athletes. I always knew.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It was something you could do, and by then I'd been in the gym religiously again, or start for a couple years had started doing that, and it all just kind of clicked. I was like, well, why don't I just I'm gonna be a wrestler. Like I'm gonna do that. And my plan, I ended up graduating in 2015. So this is 4 years prior to even stepping foot in a ring. I wanted to go to Canada and train at Lance Storm School, and I was it was fall semester of my last year of school, and this kid that I had seen in the gym all the time, he saw I wore my Austin 316 shirt. That was my test day shirt. Whatever class, no matter what class, no matter what class it was, I took my test in my Austin 316 shirt.
So good.
And then
Love it.
I had a CM Punk shirt. I'd wear these wrestling shirts to the gym, and I would see him at the gym on campus, and he had wrestling shirts. And then I had class with him, and he was like lingering around outside class one day, and I was talking to the professor, had stepped out, and then he just kind of was like, "Hey man, are you?" He's like, "I noticed you have, I see you in like wrestling shirts and stuff, and would you be interested in actually like becoming a professional wrestler?" And I don't think his answer or my answer was what he expected. And I was like, "Actually, yes, I want." I was like, "I plan on going to Canada."
You said that.
Yeah,
that was my plan.
Weird that you mentioned that. And so I told him, yeah, like I love wrestling. I want to be a wrestler. I graduate in May. And he was just like, oh wow, well they had actually started a professional wrestling club on campus. So he was already training as a student, and invited me to come down and check it out. And I did that, and it was over, And I talked to one of the guys who helps train from time to time, and he's a NorCal veteran, El Chupacabra, Chupi. He had seen me at one of the trainings, and he kind of was the first person to convince me to start training here, and not to discourage me from going to Canada if that was my plan. But he's like, well, imagine if you got 9 months of training on your belt and then you went to that school, it couldn't hurt, And I was like, absolutely. And then he's like, we got guys here he's like, we can have you working by the summer type of deal. If you work really hard, we can get you doing matches by the summer. And then with the same mindset from the other trainers, it was the same stuff. And then I started training full time, committed to the school. And the cool thing about the professional wrestling club at the University of Nevada is our training was subsidized, like it was paid for
cool.
partially. I think like my first 4 months were paid for. We had got a grant from the university and everything. And we did our first show at the university as well.
I remember you telling me about that.
And then I started training, and just like you said, everything clicked fast. It was like obviously not as easy, but this is what I did on my trampoline as a kid, with my best friends. But now I'm doing the real thing. So it was like you catch the bug, and it was just it all happened super fast. And by like summer came, and they were my trainer Adam was taking me on the road and getting me booked on shows, and here I am. This weekend I actually have my biggest. I'm pretty excited. It's my biggest wrestling weekend to date. 3 big bookings. Saturday I'm teaming with Al Snow, someone I grew up watching on TV.
Oh, that's right.
And watching like, you know, Tough Enough and all that stuff. And then on Sunday I'm working another guy who's he's wrestling with TNA Impact Wrestling.
Wow,
He's
really?
on TV, and you know, I'm getting, you know,
Sure.
it's
Yeah.
this year's been really big. I've made a lot of progress.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, anytime I can not wrestle Steicher. No, it's just really cool just to get these opportunities. I'm starting to work Jody, you know, to work War Pig, like I said a couple weeks ago. That's a big opportunity. It was a big deal to me. I don't think he understood how much, you know, how big of a deal it was for me, but I think I've only worked like 5 or 6 non-students now at this point.
Oh, wow.
And I've been working since May 2015, which isn't long. Not that I'm saying it's a long time, but like I'm now, you know, I'm getting these opportunities. Yeah, I'm getting these good opportunities. I got to work my trainer Adam, who is the best. Like he's I hope he doesn't hear this. I hope he doesn't see this, because he's gonna be so happy. Adam likes
any of
Adam,
the compliments I'm giving him.
Adam likes Adam. He's dad. Like he's our road dad. We, you know, like legit.
Okay.
But I got to work him in June, and it was like it was a 17-minute learning experience. Like
Sure.
I evolved from that alone, and that was a big deal for me, you know. But I just want to learn, you know. So the more I work guys like this, the more I learn, the better I get every time. So yeah, this weekend's really big. I'm excited.
Yeah.
For Pro Wrestling Revolution, I did my first pay-per-view maybe about a month ago.
Yeah, it was about a month, right?
Yeah, it was an pay-per-view, and it's just having the opportunity again to reach a much wider audience.
Yeah.
The production was awesome, and it was cool to see that from this side, you know,
Sure.
from the worker side of that
Right,
production.
right.
You know, being backstage at like WWE and stuff believe me, that's insane. But also being a part of the show is way different. And then being able to sit back, you know, by the time we were driving home, I purchased the pay-per-view, and I'm watching and I'm watching it, you know, and it was cool too. Like I have, you know, a handful of friends, and like my parents were watching it, you know, and to know that that's being like they're watching me live for the first time, you know, because now it's one thing
television.
like, you know, they see stuff through Snapchat, or I tell them about it, or it gets on YouTube 2 weeks later and I show you, but to know that they're watching it as it happened was like, that was really cool.
That is rad.
And guess who I wrestled? One guess.
Your main dude.
Wasn't
Steicher. I
was it?
wrestled Steicher.
You got it right.
And no, it was good. They hated him and they loved me, and it
Perfect.
was awesome. I hit it. I think it was the first time since I had broken my hand doing the frog splash to him. You know, not that like it's not a it's a high risk move. You know, it's off the top
Not on
rope,
your hand,
but it's not a high risk move to break your hand like this.
Right.
Like just about any worker, you know, I had told a story. Hey man, what'd you do? Did you break your hand? You know, on the show. I'm like, yeah, man, I broke it. What happened? I was doing a frog splash I did a frog splash to somebody, and they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I did something.
Anyway, can I help
did
you?
something different. Yeah, I did something much different than any other time I've done it, obviously, and now my hand's broken. So, but yeah, I wrestled Steicher, and we had one of our, you know, probably our best match out of a good handful, which is cool because they get better every time.
Oh, of course.
And different as well, which is good because we're
that is
not
cool.
going out and doing the same
thing.
The same thing. You know, we tried new moves. We did new stuff. And it was the crowd was hyped. Like I believe we had the best pops of the night. From
Good.
You know, we were first match, but like bell to bell, especially, you know, the 1, 2, 3 I win. You know, they were very happy with that, which is the point of anything. You know,
Right.
Good guy's supposed to get cheered, bad guy's supposed to get booed, and they hated him. Like he was good.
I like wrestling because it's, you know, it's such a microcosm of the world. It's like there's good and there's bad,
Right.
and it's easy to figure out.
Yeah, it's pro wrestling is the best at being, especially
Yeah, good storytelling.
being
is
a part
good
of this
storytelling,
circus is
actually.
the best, or carnival or what have you. You know,
Yeah.
it's the coolest thing ever. All the people that I've met, like you have to be a special type of person to want to do this in the first place.
Seems that way. Seems that
You
way.
know, because, you know, and it's another deal, you know, you're putting stuff, you're like, yeah, it'd be really cool if you drop me on my head right after, you know what I mean? Like, no, but really get it in there, you know, that
really
like it
kicked
takes
me in the face.
Yeah, it takes a special type
that'd
of
be
person,
perfect.
and it's two or more people, you know, it's there's a lot of trust, you know, I'm trusting you with my body, and you know, you're trusting me with yours to hurt you in the best way and slash safest way possible, whatever way you want. But like it's, the amount of trust that goes in with it is I think that's the coolest part about it, and the bond that all the workers have together and the respect that's there.
That's cool
because of that. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's neat.
Are you the type, or do you wrestle with anybody that does like the broken glass, barbed wire tacks type?
So I have not done that yet.
Is that something? Is that something you want to do?
No. So I would not want to make a career. So I really want to do a ladder match.
Right.
That's on my. I remember we were talking about it. You know, one of the times, what's your like bucket list? If you have one match, go.
Yeah.
And mine's like, all right, ladder match: Chris Jericho, Jeff Hardy, like Shawn, you know, that type of deal. Hardy. I want to do. Yeah. Oh, Jeff Hardy is probably one of the biggest reasons I'm
definitely
doing this now. Even though I don't wrestle anything like Jeff,
right?
I do high flying stuff, you know, the some things I can do, but everything about my style is different than Jeff. But he was my favorite, like growing up. I loved the Hardy Boys. I get to meet Matt Hardy next weekend.
That's right.
I'm ecstatic about that too. And then, so then I'm on a show. Did that too? Like I'm on a show with Matt Hardy. You know what I mean? Just being booked on the same card, like it's crazy to me. And I don't think this stuff's gonna like just go away where it's not that big of a deal to me, which is really cool. But yeah, I really want to do a ladder match. Hopefully there's a couple zeros behind my paycheck if I'm taking, but yeah, I don't want to
tax.
Yeah, I don't want to get thrown on tax for $20, but I know guys they just love that. Like
That's so bizarre.
like I saw
it's crazy watching it.
His name's I remember so his name's Sir Samurai, another NorCal vet. I saw him get hip tossed onto, I think it was like anywhere from 4 to 6 fluorescent light tubes. And I'm watching from the back, like, because I see stuff laid out, you know, and I'm like, oh God, so, you know, this is going to get weird, you know, and then it happens, and so he hits, lands on his back, and as soon as he sits up, I'm about 15 yards away, and I just see the blood start running down his back, and I'm like, nope, you know, and he's, you know, he's hurting, and then the match is done, and he's so happy backstage, like pumped, you know, and he loves that shit, I guess, like, which some guys, but I can imagine on one end, it's like, you know, you take a really hard bump, or, you know, whether it's you get chopped 20 times in a match, which also always sucks, you know, but every time, like, you take that big chop, and then everyone, ooh, you hear that, and it's like, you don't feel it, maybe, you know, you know, oh, that was a hard one, but you don't feel it. But I've been chopped before, or just like,
it's a different kind of pain.
One of my trainers, Wrecking Ball, Paul Isdora, he's like upward of 7 feet tall, a massive hand, slaps you, you know. But if no one reacts to it, then it's like the worst thing in the world, and then it hurts probably, I think, like twice as much as it normally does. But
no adrenaline rush with it.
Yeah, it doesn't have there's no payoff, you know. But he popped up from that stuff, and he was, and then he took moves on tax after that, you know, does all the stuff backstage, and he's like, man, that was really good. That was fun. I guarantee you that at one point that was said, that was fun. And there's plenty of guys that are like that. Maybe I just haven't experienced it, so I don't know the thrill. But
man, if you want,
I wouldn't hate. I wouldn't hate if
we got a table here too. It's not the same, but
I believe you volunteered. I'm sure you can pull up the tweet. I want to put the tweet like right in front of his face.
Yeah, this whole podcast came about on Twitter.
On Twitter, yeah.
Between all of us,
Chrissy would be really mad if we.
Dude, I love this. Your Twitter is probably my favorite thing on earth. Man. By the way,
thanks, man.
Oh my god,
Hey, how can people follow you since we're on this subject?
Oh yeah, got Instagram.
Yeah, dude.
Instagram is Karl Fredricks, I believe. And then I believe my Twitter is Karl_Fredricks. But if you just search either way, you'll see a picture of me. I'm that Karl. Don't follow the other ones.
Yeah, get the hot.
Yeah, it's with a K. Yeah. And
Yeah,
there's a
yeah,
picture.
no,
I mean,
see.
I'm wearing these really small white, like shiny underwear. You can't miss it. You'll see some interactions with us.
Yeah,
You'll see if you look at like my favorites. There's probably like a bunch.
all of us.
Probably.
Between these two, and then
Brian's a little underrated on Twitter. I feel.
He is. You're
Depends
a
on my
dark
mood
horse.
lately.
Well, I mean,
And
you're private too. So.
And the
Oh yeah, I'm doing that for
who you?
job security reasons.
Oh, okay, yeah. American Horror Story. I know we've been.
God, it's been good.
It's
good.
So I got my roommates hooked on that stuff. One of them, God, he's such a wuss, but
season
he's
has
like,
been
I got him.
super
Yeah,
cool.
like the scary movies are fun. Like it's like a roller coaster. What the
Right.
best part about it is that it's scary, you know.
Yeah.
And so now he's so into it, and he stresses out the whole time.
Dude.
But they love it. Yeah, this season.
Did you watch
really
this
good.
last week's episode? I didn't think it was good.
Yeah,
because it's
the
now
preview. The
evolving
next
story.
week's looks
But
scary.
Past like what? This is week 4.
I believe so.
So like the past 3 episodes have been the creepiest thing I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
yeah.
It's ugh.
Have you ever heard of the term "gay for pay"?
I was like, okay.
and then
alright.
they came back to it after commercial break. They had to replay that, and then
I was like,
when,
it's
he,
good.
when he says, "Honestly, I would kill for a Coke Zero right now." That one,
It's funny because
I got to laugh.
I'm
out
literally addicted to Coke Zero.
Yeah, me too.
really.
Yeah, I giggled. I was like, oh man.
I just think it's cool.
Yeah,
to
okay.
plug
Yeah,
in
man,
that,
I know
you
that feel.
And then it's like a super serious moment, you know, and they're like, "You can't leave us," and he's like, "My Uber's here," like, and it like pulls you back and makes you laugh a little bit real quick.
You should figure out a way to put your merch. Are you gonna like take it to show? Are you gonna like sell it online?
Yeah, so I finally. I've been selling 8x10s, but I have yeah.
Have you
That's
really?
so dope.
Yeah, dude, you kidding
Fucking
me?
8x10.
You wouldn't put on your wall, right?
Hey,
You're not here.
The
but like,
Iron
you know,
Cast sponsored by Karl
Yeah,
Fredricks.
so like
absolutely
here,
put
like
one
here,
behind
We'll
my back.
sponsor each other.
yeah, here would be a little inappropriate, but
I mean, whatever. I pull
you
it
would
behind my
at a
desk.
show you wouldn't buy an 8x10.
Yeah, I would absolutely.
We'll get it
sign
framed. We'll get it
Yeah,
framed
you
and
get
put
it
it
framed,
right here.
and then it's like I'm always here.
I already
Yeah.
told you. I'm
Steicher
buying
has
new
the best
shirts.
framed photo, by the way, at his house. He has, it's like a old WWF magazine. It's ripped out, and it's ripped out poorly, which is probably another best part of it.
course.
And it's framed, but it's not. The frame's way too big for it, so there's a lot of empty space outside it. But it's just Shawn Michaels, and it's sitting on his toilet. And he's got this really cool picture of Shawn Michaels when you go to the bathroom.
That's probably one of my favorite pictures we've taken together. By the way,
Oh, we did, yeah,
Night in the
we did.
Night in the country.
Can you make that happen?
Yeah.
There's a
It's-
picture of me and him. I am Triple H. He's doing the Shawn Michaels pose,
It was
and I'm
awesome.
wearing the Rage fanny pack that he gave me. I became a real professional wrestler the moment he gave me a fanny pack because one, you're on the road. A lot of guys, it's like your cash register for merch and stuff like
Yep.
that, you know. But they're also super convenient. I could carry a couple of these guys in it, you know. Probably kidnap a small child and put it in the front pack, like if you
Very small baby.
yeah. But like everyone has them, and for the longest time, you know, I've been on the road for over a year now, and he gave me my first fanny pack.
I did.
And then
saw
our
it.
friend Julian just
Yeah.
gave me he had me in tears a little bit because we had this conversation. He's like, "Hey man, we were talking about you the other day, and we think it's really cool you're out there following your dreams and all this stuff, and so we got this for you, and it's an American flag fanny pack, and it's so dope. So now I have options, people. Do you understand? I don't just have a fanny pack. I have options.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. That
My fanny pack game is strong.
that
AF
house-
Sometimes
right
you
now.
want to party. Sometimes
Yeah,
you
sometimes
want to party for America.
Yeah.
that house full of bros. They're
Oh my God, they're
coolest,
the
man.
best. They're the
just-
best people.
For you to tell me that story that they were just randomly talking about people. They just
That's what
talked
he
about
said. Yeah, I was trying. We were in the gym too, and I'm like trying not to, I wanted to I gave a very appreciative, obviously,
Yeah,
gave him a hug,
absolutely.
but I was trying not to be
like
you
super
know,
emotional. Yeah, well, at that
man,
point,
that's
I
so
would've
nice of
done it. I
you.
would've
Like,
done
yeah, it was really cool.
No, man, they're cool dudes to hang out with.
Yeah, and then same thing with him. I was like, he had the fanny pack. I was like, man, that's so dope. I need one. And it was like, I'm the only wrestler without one. He's like, it's yours. And I was like, you know. And then we took a sick picture with it, and he let me
Yeah.
test drive it for like an hour.
So
I
good.
wore it for like an hour.
Oh, good times.
So, if on Twitter land, well, by the time we get this up, you will have already done your little tour. But look out for you on the West Coast.
West, yeah,
Usually,
yeah.
what are the spots you normally hit up?
I wrestle. I do L.A., L.A., Oroville, Santa Cruz, Reno, Sacramento, Vegas just got added to the loop, which is I'm very, very excited for future stars of wrestling in Vegas. They have a lot of good talent, and the production's really good, and it's, you get to spend a night in Vegas once a month.
Which is about enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
Oh my.
The next day in Vegas is like Vegas is it's so bad in the day, and I'm sorry if anyone. I hope it doesn't offend anybody.
I mean,
well, whatever.
You're not wrong.
For an outsider, because it's.
You're not wrong.
He's from Vegas.
I'm from Vegas, and I agree with you. And I even went there during 4th of July. Quick snippet. I'm not gonna say anything about what happened.
Yeah,
nobody needs to know details.
I was honestly worried about that.
Yeah,
Coming on to this,
I will
because you. I mean, we have stories.
I will legit say
you spend a lot of time.
That he's right.
Yeah, Vegas only
is
exists
not okay in the daytime, and it's only okay in very small bunches unless you want bad things.
The worst experience and best, I guess, still like. It was spring. It was spring. Yeah, it was, spring break 2012, and it was So it was, and it's perfect.
So there I was.
So, yeah.
So you were like what, 22?
22.
Yes.
I wasn't even 22 yet. I was still 21.
Oh my gosh.
2012.
Amazing.
I was a young pup. My whole house.
Yep.
Tony.
Whole
the
crew.
Pack Boys. Yeah, the whole crew. We did. It was. I just broke up. I just broken up with my girlfriend. Like,
of course.
So what do you do?
All of these things
so what do you do? You go to
going to Vegas.
No, you go to Lake Havasu and you stop in Vegas on the.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So what happened? We did 2 nights in Vegas, and then we were in Havasu from Monday through Thursday. They left, and then I went
back. To
hopped
Vegas.
in with two other really great friends, bad influences. And we went back through Vegas.
That's what great friends are.
Yeah, and then we went back through Vegas for
one last hoorah.
Was it a bachelor party? No, it was a birthday party. So then we went back and there was 2 floors, Caesar Palace. The suite was 2 floors, like 2 massive common rooms and 8 bedrooms. So there was 2 bedrooms on the bottom floor that connected to 2 other bedrooms. So it was, and there was like 8 or 10 dudes, and everyone. It was wild.
We get it.
It was, you
don't even have to explain.
Well, the reason I can't get it, brain cells are gone, so I can't. Of course. My cognitive functions.
And I'll be the first one to say that we are happy to still have Karl, the big effing deal.
I lost like 14 pounds that spring break. I remember at one point on Wednesday I had realized we hadn't ate since Sunday. We had In-N-Out on like Sunday when we got and then it was like Wednesday night and I was like, and it was just like, man, why do we feel so bad? And then
why do I feel like I'm dying?
Yeah. And I remember I was living with my sister and she like she commented on the eyelash. You look so skinny when I got home, and I think I lost like 14 pounds.
What happens when you're on a liquid diet all weekend?
Yeah, and I was a whole 175 pounds at the time too, so I couldn't really afford to lose. Yeah, it was.
I had a donut that was the size of my head in Vegas over the 4th of July weekend. That was the only thing I ate.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And now you're 4 weeks out.
Now I'm 4 weeks.
And now you're eating the same way essentially.
Yeah. There you go.
Except now you're out here not eating again.
Just chicken the size of my head.
Any closing thoughts, guys?
Thank you guys for having me. This all started because I was just
tweeting
random bullcrap to myself.
Yeah, like I want to be on a podcast.
I was
want to be on all the
podcasts. Talking to myself. And then
we
like
bullied him into it.
A couple minutes later, like it was very fast, and he's like, "Be on ours," and I was like,
"Okay."
Oh, okay.
And it's cool. It's cool because we're technically health and fitness podcast, but we don't talk about that. And
but we do at the same time.
Kind of.
We sort of that we wrap this up with
eat your veggies.
Yeah, don't do the stuff we did in Vegas because it's unhealthy.
Please don't.
So see, there you go.
Whiskey boarding is not fun.
Yeah. But there's more to life than the gym, and that's not really any genuine insight.
No, no. I like to think
we're way cooler. Yeah.
And then any guests we bring on the show are
you're the first guest we've had in a while. Honestly.
Individuals.
So, well, thank you.
I think we're more than just a face for fitness and health and wellness.
We're not just pretty faces.
We're not
also
all just
hot pieces of ass.
We're not all just really, really good looking.
but
we're mostly really, really good looking.
Listen,
but
we are also the 3 most humble people on earth. Like nobody is more humble than us. All right.
most humble to least. But
did you see what
I am more humble than anybody that I know.
Or hear what we did there?
and we're wearing matching pants.
Yeah.
But
we
really,
are.
side note,
Team
where did you
camo.
get
Yeah.
that
Can we-
cut off?
Well, I mean, it's a continuum because it's joggers and
Yeah.
then camo.
Oh,
And then you're, so you're
yeah.
like, you know,
And
you're
we're both
the
a little bit
combination.
taller than you.
You guys are
Yeah.
wearing black.
We're both
Yeah.
This
see.
is aggressive.
Yeah.
Mine's like
We
opposite
coordinated
too,
as well.
almost. Anyways, but where'd you get this? From work?
Yeah, I did. We
I
got,
need to get one of those. It's just
but there's a light gray. You should get the light gray.
Oh, yeah.
It's good.
All right.
Anyways.
We're going to say goodbye for now.
Thank
Everybody
you
look
for
up
your
Karl
watches.
with a K.
Check him
Fredricks.
out.
Karl
He's on
Fredricks.
the way up.
Big
That's,
effing deal.
yeah. That's Fredricks, not an X. It's CKS.
Fred, if it was with an X, there'd be 3 of them though. for
Yeah.
sure.
Badass. All right.
I love it.
Say bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.